Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready?
For live.
Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Are you ready?
This live
Are you
talk.
ready?
Live
Are you
talk.
ready?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready?
Live talk.
For the word of the day, the knowledge and the wisdom will increase your faith. Are you ready? For live talk,
Yeah.
because it's about time to set it off. Are you ready?
Let's go.
For the word of the day, the knowledge and the wisdom will increase your faith. Are you ready? For live talk,
Yeah.
because it's about time to set it off.
Live talk. This live talk. Live talk. Living in vital energy. The universal language spirituality. Living in vital energy. The universal language spirituality. We're going all the way live with it. With live talk, increase your mentality, put away carnality and increase your spirituality. Let's go.
Ready?
Live talk.
Are you ready?
This live talk.
Are you ready?
Live talk.
Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready?
Live talk.
For the word of the day, the knowledge and the wisdom will increase your faith. Are you ready? For live talk, because it's about time to set it off. Well, greetings and welcome everyone to Live Talk. I am your host, author Yeremyah, alongside my co-host, Minister Samuel.
Welcome, welcome.
Well, unfortunately, my other co-host, Shubael, will not be joining us today, but please say a prayer for him. He's dealing with some health issues, but for the most part, we're going to keep going, and in the spirit of love and healing and blessings, we're going to keep it moving. So how you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. How are you today?
Well, you missed episode 10, and it was a refresher for us. I'm pretty sure you kind of tuned back into it and you kind of heard some things.
Unfortunately, I had to retune because I was traveling again, but I did get to hear the playback. I hate missing a show, but because at least I can get the playback, I feel like I was there.
Hey, that's what it's about. Well, as you know, we have another hot one. And, right before we get into the hot topic of the day, like always, I give you a rundown of what the show is about. Before we get into today's topic, I'm going to just brief you on what's coming up shortly. We'll open up with the word of the day from the minister. Right after opening up with the word of the day from the minister, we'll get into, we'll play just a commercial as we bring in our guest for today, which is golf professional Eric Roux. But then right after that hot topic, we're going to take another quick break and just have a little bit more commercials planned. And then right after that, we don't have the ambassadors today, which maybe we can get into some topics about what's going on today. But then right after that, the author will share with you some parts of his book or a book that he read for today. And then we'll end with any announcements, etc. So with no further ado, Minister, what do you have for us today?
Okay, great. We're going to start today off with our word of the day. And our word of today is going to be discipline. Brief definition: discipline is training that corrects, molds, or perfects the mental faculties or moral character. Discipline is control gained by enforcing obedience or order. Now, when I think about discipline, I want to point out something that most of us can relate to or should be able to. And I'm going to use an example from basketball. When you get someone like a LeBron James or Steph Curry, and you see them on the court and they just look phenomenal. And we know that they're ultra talented. Right. They do have gifts. But what you're missing is to be that great, they have a lot of discipline.
Put the work in.
Yes. These are the guys who get up early in the morning. They're on the court late at night. They do, you wouldn't believe that they do things like they practice their free throws.
Right.
They practice layups. So when they get in the game, it looks like magic. No, it's not magic. Like you say, they put their discipline, they put in the work.
Yeah.
So then when they get on the court, it looks easy.
Yeah. And not, just speaking on that, when we talk about discipline, one of the synonyms to discipline is rule. Mm-hmm. And when I think of that from a spiritual standpoint, I think about Proverbs 25:28, which reads, "He that has no rule over his spirit is like a city that's broken down and without walls." When we think about like having that control, that mind control, we talk about spirit, we're talking about the mind. And it takes a mental focus to even comprehend discipline. So having that rule over your spirit is just as important as having the skills of the game.
Yes.
I have learned, when you can listen to someone, you can pick up more than if you feel like you know it all. So it's a difference between a person that's disciplined and a person that feel like they know it all. Mm-hmm. The person that disciplined, although he may not have as much talent, he can gain and learn more quickly than this person here, and then excel past that person because of the lack of discipline. So that's a powerful word when we talk about discipline and applying it to our personal lives, more so even to everything that we may involve ourselves in.
And that's a great point, because see, the other part of discipline, that was like a physical discipline, but this mental discipline is what you're talking about. And that's what gets even more difficult, because the more you apply it, the better it works. But if you don't apply it, like you're saying, it's like you're broken down.
Right.
For example, learning a foreign language would require mental discipline. Being able to function at a particular capacity, say even on your job, requires mental discipline. You have to put in the mental work to get to a certain point, but it's all discipline. Mm-hmm. And the physical and the mental ties in, so it comes like a spiritual whole.
And the thing about it, it takes me back to my brother. He had said some one time. Now my brother, I don't want to put him out there, but a lot of y'all don't know him anyway, but but one thing he told me, now he been in and out of juvie, jail, prison all his life up to right now, which he has made that change, which I'm thankful for. It took him 50 years though. But one thing he told me, when he was inside, he followed every rule. He followed everything that was inside. He never got a DR, never got in trouble. Did everything that the COs told him, etc. So he was very disciplined while he was in there, but he couldn't apply that discipline when he got out to make his life better. And I found that to be odd, kind of listening, but understanding where he's at right now has shown me that although to me, it can be negative being inside the institution, but at the same time, you can gain some type of positivity from whatever you may learn, like making up your bed every day.
Yes.
That takes discipline.
Yes, it does.
I mean, I have children.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, you have children. The point of you can sit there and talk till your face turn blue about the things you need to do. You got to wake up, make up your bed, wash your face, brush your teeth
every day.
All this stuff takes discipline, and it irks you sometimes, to go outside of that discipline of what you need to do in order to be healthy, in order to be proficient about life, So it's important to have discipline in every function of your life. Like you said, business, job, etc. You have to have a sort of discipline. I always like to tell people I'm a principle man, because there's principles that I go by.
And they discipline.
That's right. And the discipline, it carries out discipline. But no, that's a powerful word. I'm glad you brought that word forth. I pray that we are able to receive from that. And we're going to get a lot more into this, as we bring on our special guest. But we're going to go to a quick commercial. And when we come back from this commercial, we'll have our special guest right here live. Hey, shalom and blessing, y'all. This is Author Yeremyah and Israel coming to you live. Listen, I'm so excited because my ebook version of The Spiritual Significance of a Name is now available. You can go to my website today at www.yeremyahisrael.com. Now, this ebook is pretty much available anywhere and everywhere that ebook is sold. I'm so excited about that because, see, ebooks are sold internationally, but I would like for you to go to my website at www.yeremyahisrael.com, pick up your copy, or you can go ahead and download the ebook version of it. Whether you're on a plane, whether you're traveling, whatever you're doing, pick up this copy. It's only $4.99. It's not going to break your pockets and not going, break the bank. So go ahead and get the copy of this ebook now, today, $4.99. Go to YeremyahIsrael.com and truly become blessed, because it will truly put you on a path to defining your true purpose. Until next time, peace and prosperity. All right, welcome back to Live Talk. And like I said, we have a special guest in the studio today. I'm honored to welcome a friend, an esteemed brother, and a golf professional, Eric Roux, to our platform today. This brother has been in the golf industry for now going on, about 25 years?
Wow.
Or so?
Close to 20 years. Close to 20 years.
And we're just pleased to have him on our show today, and to talk about the importance of youth, sports. And right before we get into that, brother, I just want to make sure that we acknowledge you correctly. So let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you for having me.
Well, it's great to have you in the studio, because this is a very important topic, one that oftentimes we don't talk about. And just knowing, and the beauty behind this is, we know the Michael Jordans, we know the Tiger Woods, we know all the, all of those individuals that we look up to, but we can't touch, we can't feel, we can't really interact with them. So we have people like you, that are in our community, that are doing these things, that are connecting with our youth, so we want to make sure that we acknowledge those type of individuals that can bring a lot of information and knowledge to the forefront to our youth. So I just want to say thank you for being here and taking the time out your day to be here. And, kudos to you. And I can't wait to really just dig into that brain of yours.
Well, I'm happy to be here. We can make plans, but our steps are already chosen. The Lord puts us in the right path for it. So I'm surprised to be here, actually, but I know it's God led. So yes, I'm happy to be involved.
All right, cool. All right, Minister, I'm gonna probably start it off, and I'm gonna probably let you walk right in it. My first question, though, that I want to ask our golf professional today is, how did you get into golf? This is like a unicorn sport in our community. How did you get into golf?
Yeah, it's one of those circumstances, very unique circumstance. Of course, where I come from, I grew up in Altamont Springs. Wynwood is the only real African-American Black neighborhood in Altamont Springs, for that matter. Mm-hmm. And so it was just basketball, football, like every other hood, and I excelled at those things, but I just felt like it wasn't my atmosphere, because I was easily distracted around my peers, more of a team sport, the accountability, the opportunities, different things. You feel so many emotions as a kid. Mm-hmm. And if you ain't the best, You know, you got to get to work your way up there. Or if you're the worst, or if you're close to it, you know it, and people let you know it and know that was good. But golf, honestly, I stumbled upon it as a kid. You know, I'm a golf professional. There was a friend of mine when I was like 10 or 11. His dad is named Daniel LeClaire. His dad is a local golf professional here. And I didn't think it was a big deal being 10, 11.
Yeah.
He got us summer jobs at Castleberry Golf Course. And we was hitting golf balls in their lake, fishing, all this different stuff. And I never really took up golf. I never played or anything. I just was around it a little bit at a young age. And honestly, 15 years later, it became a way for God to kind of come into my life. The Lord used golf to really come into my life at a really crucial point in my life where I was like lost. So, and it was, like I said, very unique. You know, I'd never played golf after I lost touch with Daniel. Probably at like 15, our relationship had fizzled out. But around 25, a job I was working, I would come around some friends and they want to go hit golf balls, go to the range and stuff. And I realized I could do it pretty good. I guess it came back to me.
That's a natural thing.
Yeah. And still out there lost, running the streets, just living for me, not really focused at all. And my wife asked me, what do you want to do? You know, what do you want to do? You know, and I was just running around playing golf.
So you was playing golf before, like, really
getting into the industry.
That's playing golf.
I was just out there hitting the ball, really. I wasn't taking it serious or anything. But as I said, I was using that as an outlet or an escape to try to be by myself and get away from the turmoil of the hood. Or it's like a vacation to me to be out away from things where the normal society couldn't get to me so easy.
Gotcha.
But it actually became something real spiritual, because of course I would run to hide and go do my drinking, do my smoking, and be by myself. The Lord came and approached me right there on the course through a man, Tano Malatin, a brother from South Africa, you know, the Ivory Coast. And he was right there on the course trying to give lessons. He worked there washing carts. He was just, you know, the course guy. This is that Lake Orlando golf course right around the corner from my house. And, you know, he came to me and saw my game and saw me there a lot. And he tried to sell me some lessons. But lo and behold, he was trying to minister to me. And I paid for lessons and went to the first one. And he asked me about my relationship with the Lord. And I didn't go back for any more lessons. I let him keep my money. You know, I just got uncomfortable and ran like I usually do. But about a year and a half later, I had a friend leaving for moving to Montana or something like that. And he wanted me to go to church with him before he left. And me and my wife went to church, and we answered the altar call that day. Just the Spirit hit us, and we answered the altar call. And then, come on, somebody come up and pray for me. You know, they have the staff come. And come from behind me, it's Tano Malatin, the guy from the golf course. Same guy that I've been running from. 18 months. He said he had been praying for this day since that day. I left him on the range. And the rest is history as far as golf. I chose my career right there. I started taking it serious. I put myself in school for it. I actually got a business degree in golf management and golf science. So it's on the business side of golf. You know, I love to play golf, but it's more of a, you know, operations, golf professional, or teaching. You know,
I got to jump in. See, you said a lot, and I heard a little. I talked to you before some of that story, but see, you just said something about going to school and a golf professional, because most of us as laypersons, when we see golf, we see Tiger Woods,
right,
or Jack Nicholson,
right.
Okay, that's the only money to be made. That apparently is not true. So enlighten us on what is there other than being Tiger Woods.
Well, honestly, it's you know, with the golf industry, from a minority standpoint, yeah, we want to show them what we can do out on the course. You know, Tiger proved that for us. We got some other brothers coming up. We got some local brothers. Maurice Allen, he killing it on the long drive. He's the #2 in the world right now on the long drive.
Wow.
Okay.
And right here from Pine Hills, Florida. So
wow.
you know, yes. So there's some things, you know, for us, but mainly for me, I see it's about our youth, because we've always been encouraged to dominate basketball, dominate football, you know, we dabble in baseball, these things, you know, now we got tennis and, you know, these things. Well, we have that in golf, but our youth, I don't think they see it that way. I know I didn't see it that way coming up as a kid, but just getting involved, you can find a way to do something you love instead of working a job that you have to. Right. You know, I told myself at the point of going into golf, I want to do something I love to do every day, and I love to golf every day. So I was willing to take that risk and go to college, and for the first time at going to school and paying for a private college and really stepping out in faith, saying, this is what I want to do, you know, and then I end up working courses here locally, did the circuit, ended up with a good company and worked my way up. And what golf does for me as a minority here is it puts you in the room with a lot of people you wouldn't think you would be in the room, to really show your influence on the industry and those that are involved. You know, so it's since I've left golf, I left the industry of golf in 2014. I see more of our influence in it since I've left in these past 6-7 years than the 12 years I spent working in golf.
Wow.
You know?
Do you think it's enough, like minority, like golf trainers or golf professionals in our community?
I'll say no, although there are a lot. There are a lot, but there still could be a lot more. Me, myself, there are a lot. You know, you have these organizations. Dr. Dorsey, he's been doing great things for a long time. You know, the OMYGA, they do great things here in Callahan, over here on Paramore. You know, if you have kids and you're looking for something for them to do in the summer, get in contact with them. They want to work with you, and it'll show your kids how to be real distinguished young men and women with integrity, not just the run of the mill of what we usually do. I mean, not knocking Pop Warner, not knocking any of that stuff. But this teaches you a different skill. You know, more mental skill, more personal skills, you know, how to respect somebody, how to respect yourself, and how to hold yourself accountable for something other than a team. I
think we all have different personalities, because a lot of times parents, you know, they look at football and basketball, especially coming up in our community, and they try to push their sons to doing it when their personality may not be that. Their personality may be fit more towards golf, you know, soccer, or whatever the case may be. And I actually attended one of those classes Dr. Dorsey did, and I had your nephew Yeremyah. And I do appreciate, you know, when you talk about the game from another standpoint, that like to become a student of the game, because that's one thing. Even when you in football and basketball, we, like, as a youth, you don't really become a student of the game. You just want to play. You know, like, man, throw me the ball. I just want to play. But you have to learn the game. You have to learn the ins and the outs. Like we talked about discipline. You know, you have to learn what discipline is, because see, you on first base, you're trying to steal base. If you ain't disciplined enough, you're gonna get out, and it's gonna hurt your team. So a lot of those things are very important. So when it comes to golf, and I know you talked about one part of the benefit, which I really love, and that's the part of just, you know, being able to be one with yourself. Right. And when I think about one, I think about the connection to the Most High. I think about, you know, meditation. So what are some benefits, and you probably can start from there, when it comes to golf, what are some benefits of golf that you have experienced and that you think would rub off on someone else?
Well, I mean, I think golf is a great life training aid. You know, it's very therapeutic, and it helps you get to know yourself. A lot of times as young minorities, we struggle with finding ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We struggle real hard with finding ourselves, and it's easy for us to be influenced by something that appears to be great.
Right.
But golf, it'll build you up and strip you down in 1 minute
Mm-hmm.
and show you how to accept that and overcome it and not give up from it. That's a big benefit that I see from it. Within a matter of minutes, you can be on the highest high, and the next minute you'll be on the lowest low.
Mm-hmm.
And then you take those same lessons from the course and apply them to your life, and it'll help you overcome some of the toughest circumstances or be prepared to face some of the toughest things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it really helps me in that aspect. And I utilize that, you know, tough day at work, in the office, or I'm running up on some big projects, these things. I'll go do a lot of my thinking right on the golf course by myself.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it really is beneficial for those that just tired of chasing. You know, you don't have to be great. You don't have to get out there and shoot the best score. But those great things that you do learn you to appreciate the little things
Right.
that you know you can accomplish. So it really does help that way.
Okay.
Yeah, man, you was talking about being therapeutic, and I'm sitting here listening to you. I wouldn't have thought about it that way. Many may not, but apparently your experience is that it really is.
Definitely.
Because, for example, I play football, I play basketball. It can be therapeutic, but it's more the grind. It's more about winning.
Getting that aggression.
Yes, or they hit me too hard. I gotta hit them back.
I'm gonna tear it up. I gotta get out there and tear it up. That's the mentality.
And see, and I'm hearing when you saying you was getting, because he's youth with nothing wrong with the sports,
Right?
but without direction, it's like sometimes y'all remember we would have rivalries on the court.
Overdo it.
Okay, and then the game turned into a brawl. But you're not gonna see people brawling on the golf course.
You can get toxic masculinity from anywhere.
Yeah.
But only time I see that in golf, it might be at the Ryder Cup or something like that. It's a gentleman's game, and I truly stand on that and say that it honestly taught me how to respect myself as a person. Because I as a kid, I would feel bad for some of the things I might say or do, but I chalked it up to being a kid. But now I hold myself accountable, and I'm able to hold my tongue because I know what's acceptable, even when I'm by myself. So,
yeah. And I say this here, being a coach in Little League, you know, or this basketball and football, one thing I have always taught, you know, the youth, you know, it's not always about winning and losing. It's about how you have improved, you know, yourself, you know, and I always talk to them about the attributes of how they can better themselves, how you take a loss. Like when you lose, how do you take that in? That's a process, because I've seen so many times, and I know you want to talk about that. I've seen so many times, you know, you have an undefeated team go all the way throughout the year, and then they lose, and it's like it just ripped the whole team. Because they never experienced the circumstances of them losing, and they may not have ever been taught even by their coaches. And I think that's a part too. We have to be disciplined as parents, as coaches, as teachers. You know, we have to be disciplined too, because that discipline goes a long ways in dealing with the youth. I'm gonna let you go ahead and speak on that.
Wow,
talk about that.
You touched on a great note, and that's another great difference between those two sports. You know, I big up basketball, I big up football. It teaches you great team camaraderie and, you know, how to overcome stuff, you know, and how to deal with stuff. But with golf, it's you and the course, you know, and all of your lessons mainly are coming from the course. So, you know, the winning, or you might make a putt, you might make a birdie, come around on the next hole, you make a triple bogey. So right there is teaching you, don't get too high on the highs. Expect some of the lows, and you'll learn how to not have that high EKG that's
Mhm.
uncontrollable.
Okay.
So, and as far as the winning in golf, yeah, you win a tournament. They have a tournament. It's a 4-day tournament, and it's about who beat the course
Okay.
each day.
Okay.
And it's
Okay.
added up at the end on Sunday. Who beat the course the best? Not the
Okay,
best
not
man,
the best man, but beat
but
the
who
course.
beat the course the best.
I like that.
Okay.
So it really teaches you how to be a humble winner
Mhm.
and really accept the great things that come to you. And you get a lot of that in those sports, basketball, football.
Yeah.
3, you get the
Yeah.
game winning shot,
Mhm.
you know, but you got to carry that over into the next game.
Mhm.
You know, but
Is that like a coach in you know, like you have coaches in,
Yeah.
in basketball and is there a coach in golf?
somewhat, yeah, you have trainers, you have swing coaches, and you
Mhm.
know, they're kind of like freelance.
I was gonna ask you
know?
that because that's kind of like outside,
Yes.
right? That's
Yeah.
not like a
Yes.
team type.
Even in the pros, even if you're a PGA professional and you play on tour,
Mhm.
you know, you have swing coaches, you have trainers,
Oh, wow.
and one might work for Tiger and then work for the number 2 that he'll be competing against next week.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's the difference, and that lets you know you got to be in tune with yourself
Okay.
in the course, and it's not about what can I do to beat the next man. You
And
know,
see, I'm
so-
hearing you saying a lot of that. You might have touched on it. I wanted you to go back a little bit because there's a spiritual side to golf, and you kind of touched on it. But some of the things you just said, like the highs, the lows, that's spiritual. And I would have never thought about it like that. But apparently, there's a lot of spirituality in that game
Oh,
that,
yeah.
that you just don't see.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know, I've had some magical moments out on the course and most of those happen when no one's around but me and God. And I know it. And you hit a great shot. You'll overcome a great obstacle, you know, and you look around after you completed it to see if someone you fist pumping by yourself, you know. So
Okay.
it really teaches you how to accept those great things. And as far as you know, correlating it to being spiritual, the Lord teaches us, you know, humility,
Mhm.
you know, and I really feel like before golf, I wasn't the most humble person at
Mhm.
all. And I still struggle. But I do use a lot of those things from the course to help me hold my tongue
Okay.
and to really see things from not only my own perspective, because that's where we make a lot of mistakes.
Mhm.
Just acting on our own perspective before understanding. Now on the course, that gets you in trouble real quick.
Okay.
So that's why you need your caddy, you need swing coach, you know,
Okay.
all these different things,
Okay.
other people's perspective.
Yeah. So that's like that team
Yes.
in golf. Okay. Because I always look at certain things when, you know, when it comes to an individual and we think individualistic when about achievements in life. And I always say, one person don't achieve greatness by themselves. There's always a team connected along the way. Somebody that was behind to be able to sit here, sit there. So, you know, that's very important. But we look at a lot of these golfers like, you know, Tiger Woods did that, but they don't account for, you know,
Earl Wood, his dad, all these different great people that came into his life.
Right.
Yes.
And I think that's very important as well. And now I know you had to look at some golf back in the days, though.
Yeah, you know, as a kid, I was anti-golf.
No golf.
I really.
But you in golf. But
like,
you playing golf. But no golf.
That's why I know it's a God thing, and you know, it's just like the rest of us. And I looked at golf. You can't hit nobody. You can't.
Hey, I used to say, man, golf ain't no real sport. Stand up there and hit the ball, man. Ain't nobody can do that.
But the mental aspect of it is what I was searching for.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that's what you found.
Yes.
Yeah.
And without even looking for it, it found me.
Right.
And it helped me hone into all those things I looked around for that I couldn't find in the atmosphere of a basketball court. Like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
All these, everybody yelling.
Right.
Or you out on the football field, high testosterone levels. You know, how do you? It's hard to focus for me.
Yeah, hard to function.
And I love it. Don't get me wrong, I love it. But I did find my true calling when I found golf, you know, and it really helped me grow myself mentally as a man.
Okay. Now, I know you mentioned something before you talked about golf professional and professional golfer.
Yes.
Help us understand the difference between a golf professional and a professional golfer.
So it is a joke in the industry, you know, so you go into the industry inspired to be a professional golfer. You know, I got it. I can do it. I can hit the ball. You know, my short game's great. You know, I'm shooting, I'm a scratch golfer, whatever these things may be. And then reality will set in. And then, you know, you realize, you know, there's thousands of professional golfers aspiring to be on tour right now to this day, right here in Central Florida. They're playing these courses every week, spending their money, paying, unless they got sponsors, to be in those tournaments to try and win and make a name for themselves. The other side is the golf professional, is the person that's hosting the tournament, the person that's checking people in at the golf course, the person that's training members or giving instruction, or you know, green grass. You're out there on the course actually keeping the beautification of the course together. You know, you learn the agriculture side of it, how to manicure the course, all the grass types, all these different things. Those are all golf professionals. So it's the business side of golf. You know, so it's if you ask me, it's the important side of golf, because without the golf professionals, people wouldn't aspire to be professional golfers.
Yeah, you have to have a structure set up that you know people can come in and you know intermingle with people that know golf. You know?
Exactly.
You know, otherwise, you know, the other guys, they're out there playing golf, trying to make them some money. They ain't worried about trying to teach and train nobody in that.
Exactly.
And them balls not gonna roll on any kind of grass.
Right.
Got to be the right kind of grass.
It has to be well prepared.
Or turf or surface.
Yes, sir. But yeah, so that's the difference. You know, Florida is a big industry for golf professionals. You know, we per square mile, most golf courses. You know, so a lot of competition in the industry, especially for a minority. But as I say, it is getting better. I must say, I did leave the industry in 2014, a little bit bitter about how, you know, my expectations for the golf industry as a Black man, and then the way I saw it as I left. You know, I left the industry with the title of head golf professional at Metro West, the title they gave me. But I honestly didn't feel like I had that title. I thought it was just a card and a label. You know, so, you know, managing 30 people didn't come to feeling like, oh, you're head golf pro, you know. So I did leave with a bad taste in my mouth and just turned to, you know, focus on more us instead of appeasing how you would see golf, you know, not us. So it did do something to me, but I think this right here will help me see it from a different light, and hopefully, you know, spread my wings again and to my next chapter in my life to be able to give back a bit more in the game.
I mean, I'm hearing it's crossed, unfortunately, a lot of professions that it seemed like you was one who got in it when, correct me if I'm wrong, there wasn't a lot of us as golf professionals.
So I honestly say, so the college I went to, it's a private college, maybe 200 students. And when I enrolled, it might have been 2 black guys.
Wow.
And they were both military guys. So that's where that comes, discipline. It goes back to that word discipline. And they handpick you, they let you know within, they say 2 weeks if you're going to be accepted into the school. And, you got to get these recommendations from names, people known. I had this person from the news, anchor from the news, this person, that person. And my history, I thought my history would strike me out, my wife, she sat in there with me speaking to the dean of the college and the faculty, and she went to bat for me. You guys don't know him as a person. Once you get to know him, you give him an opportunity, he will show you and these things. And, a month had passed before they let me know I'm checking. And I didn't have the letter I needed. That same brother from South Africa, Ivory Coast, Tano Malatin, was in South Africa at the time. And as soon as he got back, at the time, he was working at Celebration Golf Course up here in Celebration. And he was their head pro at the time. And as soon as he got back, he wrote a letter. It's like a month and a week now. It should have been 2 weeks. And they put me on. He said, I'll do anything in my power to see Mr. Roux succeed in the golf industry. They called me the next day. I was in.
Wow.
Awesome.
And the rest was history from there. Celebration actually took over the course of the campus where the school was, where I received a lot of ridicule, and a lot of these people looked down on me because their uncle was Steve Stricker and this person was this professional golfer's kid, and all these are the students.
Okay.
And I'm Eric from the hood in Altamont that's got a recommendation from the pro here locally. So yeah, it was great. And then I got, I ended up with my first golf job through Celebration. Of course, I chose Celebration because of the person that got me there over one of the biggest courses in town, Bella Colina, would have went to, and ended up with them. And it's just been, as God intended it to be to this point. So
having a good character is very important. And then knowing people, connecting with the right people is very important. And I guess to your point, we have to be able to bring that back into our community, understanding that there's a system in place that's trying to keep us from excelling on different levels. Because, obviously, the golf industry wasn't really, from what I hear, a sport designed for, minorities, for us.
There's still courses here today within a mile and a half, I say, right up here on the corner, OBT and 50. We're not welcome still.
Oh, wow.
So just think about that.
Still like that. Okay. In some areas.
Just think about it like that. So, some courses just start letting women come and play.
Oh, wow.
So, and there's a whole LPGA. So it's funny like that.
But still got a ways to go there.
Yes. And I don't mean to cut into you. I want to let you finish the topic, but as minorities and stuff, I've always been one that I want to take the challenge of breaking down barriers and overcoming that stereotype that you look at me with as soon as you see me. My goal is to try to break that down. And that's honestly, now I look back at it, that was the challenge of me going into the golf industry.
Okay.
I showed enough people at the golf course. So go into the industry and see if you can do it there too.
And that's a great thing. Well, we're here talking with Eric Roux, golf professional, really picking his brain about a lot of information when it comes to the golf industry and how it really relates to individuals, period. And he talks about his experience and how it relates to us at the same time, and even our youth. And that was one of the main things that we want to kind of touch on today. But we're going to have more. We're going to be right back. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we should be right back.
At Scott & Associates accounting firm, you can get your taxes done in or outside of the office by an experienced tax professional. To schedule your appointment, give us a call today at 321-754-1360. The number again is 321-754-1360. Or schedule your appointment online at www.countonscott.com.
Hey, greetings and shalom, everyone. This is Yeremyah and Israel, author and spiritual leader, here to tell you about the new show that I will be hosting coming up next week, which is called L.I.V.E. To my right is Minister Samuel, and to his right is Ambassador Shubael, and then we have Prince Yeremyah.
You want to tune in next week to Live Talk because it will be live.
It most definitely will be, Minister. There will be a plethora of information, vital information, vastly different than you have ever heard before in your life.
And even after this, don't forget to tune into Live, the Youth Edition, which I will be hosting.
Well, welcome back to Live Talk. The conversation today has been about golf, the importance of golf in our community. And we have been talking with golf professional Eric Roux. And at this time, normally when we come back from a commercial, we normally have our ambassador kind of talk about some of the things that are going on in society today. We don't have our ambassador today, so I get right into the author part of today, where he'll talk about a book. And like always, I'm gonna talk about the spiritual significance of a name, the importance of having a name that can give you purpose in life. And I'm gonna come from a quote in the book that I like to share. And it kind of relates to what we're talking about today. And it's actually a quote from Marcus Garvey. And he says in here, if you have no confidence in yourself, you are twice defeated in the race of life. With confidence, you have won before you have started. And that just goes to what we talked about today when it comes to just having that confidence and really seeking opportunity. And being steadfast at it, and I think that's a very important thing when it comes to life in general, because when somebody knock you down, get back up, I think life has this, way of knocking you down, and a lot of times people just stay down, so it just, we want to be conscious of certain things that life, throws at us and be able to accept it, but still thrive at the same time, Well, it comes to that part of the program where we get ready to close out. I'm gonna go to the minister, and then I'm gonna leave it for the golf professional to kind of give us, his closeout and how you can, continue to learn if you want to learn about golf, etc. Minister, you.
Yeah, well, I certainly want to thank Brother Eric, for joining us today and sharing some insight. I'll tell a little story. It's about golf, funny, but it's real, because I was the same way. I thought it was not a real sport, boring. And there was a tournament around professionals, because it was like those in our profession, they would have golf tournaments when you get out and you meet all the inspectors and all the contractors. And it was my first time. And to my surprise, I had the most fun that day. I thought I really was going there just to meet other professionals in my craft and some of the heads making decisions. But once we broke up and got on the course, we broke up in like small groups, like 4 of us on that. And I had no idea how much fun it would be. And I'm not the best, Eric, I'm nowhere in your stature. However, what I will say, there was 3 guys and there was a young lady there. And she was amazing, because it taught me some humility, because she was she 120 pounds, nice looking young girl, but oh my goodness, what she could do, like when I'm here with the course. Now, we could drive a little stronger, but she could drive to that point. But she would get certain wedges and she would swing, once I got to the green and I could get the putting, but she would swing full. And I'm like, it's right there. She would make it go up, it would hit the green, and she would get within 3 to 4 feet and put all of us to shame. And it was humbling, because it was like, this girl has game. But I was amazed at really how fun it was, because watching, looking at them on the news, on television, I thought it was boring until I got out there.
Right.
But then being put, and it's like you're saying, some courses that they not even allow women. Oh my goodness, this girl had game. So it's like, it kind of showed me that there's some skill to this that you would never even imagine. And then it don't got anything to do with sex, and it didn't have anything to do with size, because we were all bigger than her, but we all had to take a back seat. And she just kept it moving. But I had a lot of fun that day. If you'd have told me before that day, I would have well, I'm just going to be going.
Right.
I actually had a really good time and learned a big lesson in humility after playing with that young lady.
Yeah. Well, at this time, how can people know more about golf, get golf tips or learn about golf? What would you recommend, etc.?
Absolutely. Well, golf has done so much for me in life. I just honestly say, if you are like me, come from a tough background,
talk to the people.
If you're like me and you come from a tough background, a tough atmosphere, and you might not fit into every atmosphere, football, basketball, your athleticism might not be there. Golf is a game for everyone. Golf is one of the only games you can play until you can't walk anymore. Elderly, young, big, small, one leg, one arm. I've seen it all. So it's that unique of a sport. If you want to sharpen your life skills, really learn how to find yourself, really practice all the skills that God gives us as a people, put it on the golf course, and it really will help you. You can find some of our local organizations. The Callahan Center is a big one I would recommend to take your kids, get them involved. Right. They do a lot of stuff right at Dubsdre Golf Course on 2 or 3 days out of the week. A lot of youth programs. That's OMYGA. You can get in contact with them. They do a lot of donations, a lot of events, and they're looking for young talent. So, if you don't like football, you don't like basketball, or, the run of the norm, give it a try. Give it a try. I definitely say give it a try.
All right. Great tips. Great tips. Well, I definitely want to thank our guests for coming on the show today. And we look forward to this happening again. Now, be mindful. Now, this brother here, he's talented. Now, we're gonna talk about that fishing too. We'll get to that. Talk about that fishing too. Well, you can follow us on Live Talk Orlando on YouTube and on Facebook. You also can follow the author Yeremyah Israel on Facebook at Define Your Purpose 2021. On Instagram at Yeremyah Israel, and on Twitter at Yeremyah S, and YouTube at Yeremyah Israel _Scott. Also, visit the website YeremyahIsrael.com. Download the app. The ebook version of The Spiritual Significance of a Name is now available. You can download it today. You go there, you can get the book today. Remember, proceeds go towards helping other spiritual projects, and also towards even a show and promoting people like our dear brother here, you know, and talking about the things that we should be talking about in our community and assisting our youth to become better, become men and women. You know. So with that being said, I like to say peace and prosperity. Until next time, we're out.
Thank you.
Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready?
For live.
Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Are you ready?
This live.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready?
Live talk.
For the word of the day, the knowledge and the wisdom will increase your faith. Are you ready for live talk?
Yeah.
Because it's about time to set it off. Are you ready?
Let's go.
For the word of the day, the knowledge and the wisdom will increase your faith. Are you ready for live talk?
Yeah.
Because it's about time to set it off.
Live talk. This live talk. Live talk. Living in vital energy. The universal language spirituality. Living in vital energy. The universal language spirituality. We're going all the way live with it. With live talk, increase your mentality, put away carnality, and increase your spirituality. Let's go. Live talk.
Are you ready?
This live talk.
Are you ready?
Live talk.
Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready?
Live talk.
For the word of the day, the knowledge and the wisdom will increase your faith. Are you ready for live talk? Because it's about time to set it off.